One of the biggest downsides and criticisms about living in Thailand is the air pollution. It's frankly one of the biggest issues that's going to affect your lifestyle and your health here. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about the different seasons, when it's best to visit, and essentially how to deal with it. Before I get started, if you're interested in moving to Thailand and want to learn how to make remote income, then join my free group down in the description below. In 2023, Thailand ranked as the 36th world's worst country in terms of air pollution. And it's especially bad in areas like Bangkok and up north like Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. Now, why is the pollution so bad? There's basically three main contributors. One major reason is going to be the traffic emissions, especially from older buses and trucks with outdated engines that release all of these toxic fumes. If you've ever ridden a motorbike behind one of these buses, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're literally sprayed in this toxic exhaust and you're breathing it all in. The second reason is the constant construction of all these major developments, hotels, all these buildings, and all this construction releases all this fine debris and chemicals all into the air, which Thailand doesn't really have a good infrastructure of kind of dealing with. But the biggest contributor is Thailand's annual burning season. This occurs in the upper northern regions, specifically from January to April. During this period, farmers burn all of their agricultural crops to prepare for the next planting seasons. And consequently, when they burn all these crops, it just releases all these pollutants and PM 2.5 into the air, and it basically circulates all around Thailand and neighboring countries as well. And it's not as simple as just simply telling these farmers to stop doing this, because it's very expensive and these farmers don't have the resources. They have to burn it because it's more economical, more cheaper, more faster. And a lot of these farmers get shamed and blamed for all these problems, but in reality, they don't have a choice. And if they were to invest into these resources, then the crops would therefore become more expensive because of the higher cost of production, and it would negatively affect pretty much everybody. Now, the Thai government is trying to create solutions and policies to fix this problem, but of course, progress is very, very slow. And oftentimes they create temporary solutions. Like, for example, a couple of weeks ago, they were offering free transportation for the BTS Skyline in Bangkok for a week to try to cut down on transportation fumes. But honestly, it's just like a quick temporary fix. It's not really dealing with the major problem. So if this burning of the crop season doesn't get fixed, pretty much Thailand is always going to have this pollution. But here's the thing, Thailand pollution isn't all that bad all year round, and it especially depends on the season and especially where you're actually going to live. So knowing when to come here is absolutely crucial. Let's go ahead and discuss the different times and the different seasons throughout the year. And particularly between February to March, it's literally at its worst. Like just a few weeks ago, it was like above 150. Like you literally cannot see the skyline. As soon as you step outside, you're just immediately start coughing. You know, it was very, very unhealthy. And it's especially bad in northern regions like Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. For example, last year in March, Chiang Mai recorded an AQI well above 150 to 200. This is considered very unhealthy to actually hazardous to breathe. And you literally cannot go outside without feeling its effects immediately. As you can see on this chart here, it breaks down the different AQIs. Thailand in a nutshell is always gonna be somewhere between 50 to 150, and even sometimes above 200 during the burning season. Now, in contrast, from May to June, the air quality starts to improve a lot, but you're still going to have some days where the AQI is somewhere around 100, 150. So it kind of fluctuates, but for the most part, it's pretty tolerable. Now, between June to October is when the air is generally the most clean. In Bangkok, the AQI levels can drop below 50, which is considered actually very, very good. So when people say Thailand is always, the air pollution is always bad, that's not the case. So in summer, you're going to have some very hazardous days, some very unhealthy days, some moderate days, and even some good days. So it depends on where you're going and when you're staying. Now let's discuss which areas have the best and worst pollutions in Thailand. At the time of this recording, these are the top 10 worst cities here in Thailand for air pollution, while these are the top 10 best cities. So if you want to live somewhere near Pattaya or Phuket or Krabi, you're probably not going to deal with air pollution that bad. Now, what do you actually do with all this information? Should you just not visit Thailand? Should you not move here? Is this going to be a major drawback? I'm going to tell you how I deal with it, kind of my mindset, and just kind of how to be proactive about it. For me personally, I never even mention pollution in my videos. I always talk so positively about Thailand, and the worst comments I always get is always about pollution. They say I'm literally cutting my lifespan by living here and suffering from all these health consequences, which they're not 100% wrong. For me personally, I'm always wearing a mask during the burning season, and I always have my purifier on, and I sometimes don't really go out that much. Like most of my lifestyle is spent working inside, either at the house, either at the cafe. So I'm not really outside doing all these outdoor activities and stuff. So it doesn't affect me too much, but on some days I'm just like, damn, I really do miss breathing crisp air. Like that is such a luxury that I'm probably never going to have in Thailand, unless I live in one of the best cities in Thailand, such as like Rayong or something, which is probably not going to happen. I'm never gonna breathe crisp air. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, it's just the reality. But like I said, you can still manage it. You can choose to avoid coming during the burning season. You can choose to book a resort in Rayong or like Phuket or somewhere. And if you're not in a sensitive group, then you might not even notice the pollution. Like, I know so many people who don't wear masks, who don't feel bothered at all by the air. And I mean, life continues, right? Life goes on. So to conclude, this is probably the worst aspect of Thailand. And Thailand's not perfect, but honestly, no country is. I'd rather live in Thailand and have all of the benefits of living here in Thailand and deal with the air problems. Another country might have very crisp, clean air, but be extremely expensive and where it might be dangerous, right? Whereas with Thailand, I don't really have to worry about those problems, but I have to deal with the air problems. So you're kind of picking and choosing your sufferings, right? And who's to say breathing in all this air will affect my lifespan, my health consequences, when in reality it might be offsetted because I'm much happier here, because I go out in the sun more often, get that vitamin D, because I have healthier relationships, higher serotonin levels, or I feel happy and having a very high mental health and good peace and good mindset. And these things kind of might have a psychological and physiological counter off affecting, you know, the consequences of negative air quality, right? I mean, this is like bro science, don't take it seriously, but in my opinion, if you live a healthy and happy lifestyle and you wear a mask on the bad days, then you're probably gonna be fine. Whereas if a country was dangerous, for example, that would be a strong enough reason to not go. If you're interested in relocating yourself and want to become a digital nomad and want to earn remote income, then join my free group down in the description below. Follow me on Instagram as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.